It's the day we've all been waiting for, little sweet potatoes. Owl House is back. Hoot hoot! And I'm so excited to be back in the Boiling Isles with y'all. Today, we're taking a look at all of the new spell glyphs, the new plant coven head, and of course, the new secret codes to look out for this season. You're watching WhitneyVision, and this is our breakdown of Follies at the Coven Day Parade. This is your spoiler warning! If you haven't seen Season 2, Episode 11 of the Owl House yet, hit pause on this video and come back once you've bared witness to bare naked Hootie. It's been so long since I've gotten to say this, but we got more Lumity action, y'all! I am obsessed with the fact that they call each other Batata, aka sweet potatoes now, and even more obsessed that we got a sweet little cheek smooch in their first scene together. And I love how supportive Amity was in this episode, even though she knew that Luz wasn't being honest with her. Seriously, most adult relationships aren't that mature. Instead of snooping through her girlfriend's phone and calling her out for being a liar, Amity respects her privacy, helped her out of a tough spot, and gently reminded Luz that she can trust her to always be there. Plus, she knows all of her girlfriend's favorite book scenes by heart, which is truly adorable. But unlike Luz and Amity, Eda and her crush, Raine Whispers, aren't in communication in the aftermath of leading a rebel group called Bats, or Bards Against the Throne, and she's starting to get worried. She hires a private inspector gator to track them down, but what they find isn't the answer Eda was looking for. According to Raine's files, they're still working for the Emperor's Coven, despite the fact that normally such an act of betrayal would be punishable by banishment. How are they still alive, let alone keeping their job as head of the Bard Coven? Side quest, I love that under Raine's interests, it's listed that their favorite movie is Die Bard 2, and that they like spicy foods. My personal favorite of the franchise is Live Free or Die Bard. Yippee-ki-yay, string plucker! Raine is also apparently a master of all manners of demonic instruments, like the Giskar and the organ, which I assume is an organ composed of all sorts of demonic intestinal tracts. Also, note that their palisman is listed as unknown. I wonder if that's a hidden reveal we'll see soon. Perhaps it's one of the palismen we've seen under the Bat Queen's care? As it turns out, Raine has been brainwashed by the head of the plant coven, Terra Snapdragon, who I'm gonna dive into more in just a minute. They're now carrying a horn flask on their left-hand side, and likely have been for the past few weeks. This is the cup that Terra pours the amnesia potion into, and it seems like Raine is drinking it several times a day to keep their headaches at bay. This potion has not only made Raine believe that they've been sick for a month, it's completely eternal sunshined all of their memories from the last few weeks of reuniting with Eda. Not only that, but they still believe that they're happily performing their duties as head of the Bard Coven, despite the fact that Raine was involved with Bats for a while before duking it out with Darius and Eber. It seems that Terra's tea hasn't just caused Raine to forget about Eda, they've also stripped away core parts of their values and beliefs. When Raine battles Eda later in the episode, we get a better look at some offensive Bard spells. First, they create sharp sonic blasts from their bow that can cut through solid objects, which we briefly saw when Raine battled Darius. Bards can also apparently conjure their own lightning storms via the power of music, which would be so freaking cool if Raine wasn't using it to attack Eda. Should we be calling these rainstorms? Unfortunately, Eda's supply of wild magic glyphs aren't enough to take Raine down, and not even playing the Raine's Rhapsody, Eda's Requiem duet is gonna bring their memories back. But even though Terra's potion has wiped away their memories of making peace with Eda, Raine still can't bring themselves to harm her. Despite threatening to unleash their full power on their ex in that alleyway, Raine allows Eda to get away, proving that, even without the knowledge of their reunion, Raine still cares deeply for her based just off of their shared past. And when Belos' scouts arrive and ask them if they're hurt, they reply that they're not hurt badly, and you can see them quickly wipe a single tear from their eye. Before Eda escapes, Raine hands her one of the spell glyphs she dropped during their battle. This is one of the glyphs that Luz and Eda have been using to turn themselves invisible during the parade, but look closely at the drawing. The invisibility glyphs that they've been using today have 3 glyphs on the outer rim along with a large glyph in the center. In the past, we've only seen 2 spell glyphs on the outside ring, and we've never seen what the components of the spell actually are. But here, and in the close-up drawing that Luz does on the back of a leaf, we can see that these invisibility spells are made up of a large light glyph in the center, followed by 2 encircling rings, the outer of which has 2 ice glyphs and another light glyph. My guess is that because Eda and Luz are transporting Kiki and Raine along with them, they needed to add an extra ice glyph to the spell in order to successfully mask a second person. Besides these souped-up invisibility spells, we also see several of the usual spell glyphs: ice, plant, light, and the steam combo. Interestingly, when King and Hootie start setting off fireworks, the resulting explosions look like they have a flowery pattern, similar to the petal shapes of the fire glyphs. We've seen fireworks make these patterns before, so I wonder if there's a glyph hint we should be looking for. Also, I love that Ed is the one selling fireworks to King. J.K. Rowling mega sucks, so having Ed embody Fred and George Weasley's love for wizard explosives is a more fun alternative. Check out the logo for Ed's Ricochet 11. Apparently, he must have spent a majority of those 11 times in the Health Coven with Viney's pal Puddles, because it looks like he's riding him in this image. Some of the most impressive magic in the episode, however, comes from Terra Snapdragon. Like I mentioned a second ago, she's the head of the Plant Coven and is responsible for babysitting both Raine and Kikimora to make sure that they don't screw up any more of Belos's plans. Terra, of course, means earth in Latin, Italian, and Portuguese, and snapdragons are a type of flower that resembles the face of a dragon when you squeeze its petals laterally, so this is the perfect name for the leader of the Plant Coven. Terra herself has wild flowing hair like thick ensnaring vines. She wears a purple dress that makes her look like an eggplant. Her crown almost resembles a strawberry, but looks like it's a closed flower bulb upon closer inspection. I wonder what kind of horrendous spell she can cast when that bulb blossoms. Terra's also wearing what looks like vine-covered boots, but part of me thinks that they might be prosthetic legs. Terra is clearly another one of Belos's diehard supporters. Like Darius and Eber, she's happy to turn in her fellow coven heads and co-workers to get in his good graces. And this is why she presents Kikimora with a test of loyalty. Will she leave the Coven Day Parade to spend time with her family, or will she devote her life to the Emperor at all costs? If she's able to prove herself worthy, Kiki will receive a promotion, and her life will be spared. Kiki, girl, you gotta negotiate for a better raise, cause not getting murdered shouldn't be the only bonus you get for your company loyalty. Luz, of course, develops a soft spot for Kiki after hearing her argue on the phone with her mom. It turns out that Kiki's in a similar situation as Luz. She can't just go to Palm Stings for a family reunion. She's messed up 5 missions in a row for the EC, and there's no way she's keeping her high-ranking title of Belos's assistant if she can't get her ish together. And likewise, Luz can't return home to her mom without finishing what she started here on the Isles. If Luz can help Kiki have the best of both worlds, she believes that it will be a sign that she can do the same. My question is, what exactly are each of these 5 failed missions? Obviously, she failed to petrify Eda, to successfully acquire Palisman for Belos when she interfered with Hunter's mission in hunting Palisman, and to uncover Titan blood at Eclipse Lake. But those are the only 3 incidents that we know about. I want to know what else she's failed to deliver to the Emperor. What else has she been up to off screen? Anyway, although Kiki passes Terra's test, she's still engulfed in vines along with Princess the Handdrake and swept away beneath the boiling seas. As Terra is about to head back to the parade, she pauses for a moment to tell Luz that the Emperor is looking forward to meeting her. What? They've definitely met before. What is Terra talking about? Is she just out of the loop and doesn't know that Luz and Belos have tussled before? Or is this some kind of mind freak she's putting on Luz to confuse her? Why would Luz need to prepare to meet someone she's already met before? What if Terra is also poisoning Belos, causing him to forget about his encounter with Luz during the petrification spell? She could be forcing the same burgundy flower elixir on the Emperor, causing him to conveniently forget any undesirable memories that might cloud his judgment regarding the Day of Unity. This might be more evidence to the theory that Belos is a simple puppet ruler, and that certain coven heads are actually higher up in the chain. Is Terra the root of all evil? Could Willow's theory about Belos be true? Is there metaphorically only a mirror underneath his mask, reflecting the opinions and actions of those around him? I'm not saying that he doesn't want the Day of Unity to happen. Obviously, this is very important to him, and if he has Widbane blood flowing through his veins, the desire to explore new realms is a significant driving force. But I do think that there's a reason why Terra was the one to tell Luz that Belos is stoked to meet her for the first time. We literally just saw her cause Raine to completely block out the last few weeks with Eda, so it's not far-fetched to wonder if she's selectively removing parts of Belos's memories to serve the Coven Head's greater goal. But even if the meaning behind Terra's cryptic words are still a mystery, we did learn more about Belos's plan for the Day of Unity in this episode. At the end of the parade, Tupac hologram Belos makes an appearance, explaining to the crowd that in exactly 1 month when the tides are at their lowest and the moon obscures the sun, he will journey to the head of the Isles. There, the worthy will inherit a utopia free of wild magic. That utopia is sounding like the human realm, so it appears evidence is pointing towards him fusing the worlds together, Star versus the forces of evil style. What's interesting to me is that everything about Belos' speech is pointing back to Season 2, Episode 3, Echoes of the Past, the chapter that introduced us to King's Island of Origin. If you want a deeper look at King's Castle and my theories about that episode, check out my breakdown of Echoes of the Past. Surprisingly, a lot of it still holds up based on the info we received in this latest episode. But for now, let me just quickly remind you of a few key things about King's birthplace and how it relates to Belos' Coven Day speech. For starters, Belos is describing an eclipse, and the temple on that island was chock full of eclipse imagery. Behind King's dad's head, we see one of his horns curving into the shape of a crescent on the side of a large circle, aka an eclipse shape. There's also a depiction in that mural of a comet speeding towards the chaos, suggesting that another celestial event will simultaneously occur on this day. Now, check out Belos' Day of Unity poster from the parade. If you ask me, it looks like a sanitized version of the low-key, terrifying wall art in King's Castle. At the top of the poster, you can see the shape of an eclipse over the Titan's skull. Below that, you can see the strong, empowered hands of the Coven heads reaching skyward, celebrating and supporting the new reality to come. However, the spindly arms reaching towards the heavens in the castle mural look sickly and scary. Those look more like hands desperately clawing for help while the King of Demons battles a gigantic skeletal being. My question is, does Belos know of the horrors to come? Are the Coven heads themselves aware? They're obviously tricking the people of the Boiling Isles with their promises of peace and perfect harmony, but are they also in the dark about what the Day of Unity will actually look like? Or are they just so power hungry that they know the risks and don't even care? Does Belos know about the comet that could pass overhead? And could that comet imagery be a harbinger of destruction? I'm on the fence here with two theories. Either Belos and his allies know about the dangers ahead and are dead set on pushing through anyway, or the Coven heads are manipulating and lying to Belos about the future of the Isles. Now we gotta talk about this season's secret codes, because hooty do we get some major clues. Let's look at the acrostic code from the episode titles first. As a reminder, the acrostic for the first season was "A witch loses a true way," referring to Eda's loss of powers and Luz's choice between her life back home and her new magical existence on the Boiling Isles. This season, the acrostic reads, "Seek the key, fear the lock." I believe that we've already seen parts of this key that the code is referring to. Not only is it a reference to the portal key that allows witches to travel back and forth between the human and demon realms, it's also a metaphor for Belos' procedure for the Day of Unity. He's planning to unlock a realm where no wild magic exists, aka the human realm, and the key here will be the combination of spells and science he uses to do it. But the lock is something we haven't audibly heard from any of the characters before now. However, there is another clue in King's Castle that gives me an idea of how the Day of Unity will play out. If you check out the entrance to the castle, you'll notice it's shaped like a giant lock. In my Echoes of the Past breakdown, I explained that the castle itself might be used as a doorway to open these two worlds based on the spell glyphs of wild magic lining the walls of the cylindrical chamber that leads to the throne room. In the same way that Luz and Eda changed the shape and even the equation of their glyphs to alter the power and abilities of their spells, the castle could physically act as a gigantic conduit of power for whatever magic Belos tries to use to fuse the two realms. To me, this acrostic message basically means F around and find out. If you seek the key that permanently opens the doorway between the realms, you might not like what happens when you fit that key into the lock. Gathering knowledge and information, like Philip Whittabane did long ago, is all fine and dandy, but just because you know how to do something doesn't mean you should do it. Belos and even the Coven heads truly have no idea how off the rails their plan might go, and if they do, they seemingly don't care about the harmful sacrifices they have to make to get there. Then there's the hidden codes that appear in every episode. So far this season, we've found Seething Seas and Puppet Strings, he no longer dreams of. But in this episode, we finally finish that thought with the word kings, hidden on the side of the staircase at Hexside in the scene where Luz, Willow, Gus, and Amity are hanging out. Seething Seas is obviously the boiling seas, and like I've said ad nauseum, Puppet Strings could refer to the fact that the Coven heads are controlling Belos behind the scenes. But what does he no longer dreams of kings mean? My thought is that the Titan is the he being referred to in the riddle. If somehow the Day of Unity revives the Titan or awakens it from a slumber, could it no longer have a need for Belos at that point? Or is the he Belos, and his dreams of ruling as king end as he tries to make the transition to something more? Perhaps a Titan or a deity of his own merit? Or is he no longer dreaming of kings, yet another hint that Terra is causing him to lose his memories? Did she wipe these quote-unquote kings out of Belos' mind? Is that why he no longer dreams of this? Guess we'll have to wait for the next few eps to find out. These are all of my favorite moments from Follies at the Coven Day Parade, but I want to know what you guys think in the comments. What's your favorite die bard? And why is it die bard with a vengeance? Like and subscribe to our channel, hit me up with your theories for the Day of Unity, and definitely let me know your thoughts on what the new secret code could mean. I'm Scarlet Wit, and you're watching WhitneyVision.